Alrighty, good afternoon, and welcome to day 2 of Hippo Cup 8 quarterfinals weekend. We are getting today going with the third of the 4 winners bracket quarterfinals matches. It is minus 45 versus minus 45 against Battle of HK. I'm T1G. Joining me is iFlame. Long time no see, Mr. iFlame. It's been a busy weekend for us together, it feels.
Yeah, a lot has happened, since we last spoke. We've no, nothing's happened since we last spoke. We've got a good match on our hands though. Battle of HK is just about the most stacked rating team you could ask for. You have Wowie, Listia, Forts, Ethan Tricks. The list goes on. Minus 45 versus minus 45. They've got some good rating players as well. Obviously, Yokespy, the big name, Haunt, also solid on the rating, as well as Fire Rage can play some of the rating maps occasionally. But it's going to be tough to stack up against the Battle of HK on that one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this match plays out. I'm very interested to see what the pick ban strategy looks like here for these two teams. With the rule set of this tournament being what it is, of course, no actual hidden pool, and not a whole ton of reading specific maps. You've got Air 8 Nomad 5, you've got Air 8 Free Mod 2. Other than that, you're looking in other forms of reading than, kind of like the low AR hidden reading. So having a roster that's super advantaged on that skill set while it's still useful is not quite as crazy as it might be depending on the pool. So we'll see. I do also feel that minus 45 versus minus 45 maybe a little stronger on kind of the raw speed elements of the pool. Players like Sigewira and Escrupulio and even Chillier Pair are going to be pretty good on the tapping stuff. So we'll see if that factors into the picks and bans as they open it up with a Nomad 3, the Daramak kind of flowy tappy alti map banned out from the Nomad pool.
Yeah, curious if we're going to see the Nomad 5 left open. That would give you the kind of go-to map I have no matter. I mean, there's also the Free Mod 2 that I think Battle of HK are going to likely pick. I feel like 45 versus 45 are potentially quite solid on the Hard Rock Battle of HK. They're pretty heavily specced into the rating. I'm not sure they have much of a roster for the Hard Rock, so that could be an advantageous point for 45 versus 45 potentially.
See here as we wait the first ban from Mr. Wosif, JD, redacted shark himself. Plenty of tapping maps in this pool for a team that likes tapping. You've got Nomad 2, Hard Rock 3, DT1, 2, 4, DT5 to a slightly lesser extent, Free Mod 3. So, if a team establishes a strength in tapping, it could be a really good place to go on this pool. A lot of options there. Let's see what Wowie's going to ban out. It is going to be that Nomad 5. So the high BPM alt DT5 is going to be removed. So I don't know if it's necessarily the one I anticipated of the tapping maps, but no DT alt to be had here for minus 45 versus minus 45. Blech.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, that team name. Not exactly pleasant to say. We can just call them 45.
I usually just go with minus 45. Yeah.
Yeah, way to go. Now, for the second ban, I mean, surely it's one of the rated maps, I would imagine, I guess. Maybe there's like some super awkward map that they're afraid of as well. I'm not exactly sure what that would be. Maybe something like, I don't know what 3 is probably fine. Free Mod 4 ban, and that is going to be not either of the low yards. It's going to be Darling Dance instead. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know that I necessarily saw that ban coming because that doesn't feel like a map that jumps out at me as particularly strong or weak for either of these teams. It's just hard in general. That map is quite difficult, especially for the mod players. So maybe just their team just uncomfortable with the map itself. Hard to say. Listia not pleased with that ban, so I guess it was a good one. If you're making your opponents angry by banning something, then you probably made a good decision.
There you go. As long as everybody's angry at the end of the bans, the ban phase has gone correctly.
Darn you. Banning out a map that we liked, how dare you.
Unbelievable.
And this is just going to be like, what, DT4, maybe DT2, maybe DT1. Actually, nobody bans DT2. It's like DT1 or DT4, I feel like, would be the most obvious bans.
Free mod 3?
Free mod 3 is only, well, it is 250. Yeah, it could be free mod 4, or it could be free mod 3, yeah.
It is possible.
We've seen our fair share of free mod bans this round. What was there? Let's see. The first quarterfinals match, there were 4 no mod bans. And I think one of the losers matches, there were 3 free mod bans. Yeah. The Worldwide Choppers versus Pelmeshki match had 3 free mod bans. So it has been a targeted mod pool at least once.
Yeah, got a bit more variety this time around. We've got a no mod, a GT, and a free mod. I mean, why not round it out with a hard rock?
I would love a hard rock band here. Yeah.
Fun.
Cover all the bases.
Yeah, they're really taking their time with the bands here. I guess
it's a hard rock band. Let's go.
There it is.
Woey's watching this. Woey's just watching the stream. Actually, he's like, we weren't gonna ban this, but since you guys asked so nicely. So that's going to be the Precision hard rock band. And actually, like you said, like that is, I think, a good skill set for -45. So that actually does make sense. Like they have good Precision players on that side. So I understand the ban, even, you know, jokes aside.
Listia is, well, somebody's winning the mental game. I think it's pretty even right now.
Yeah.
Both teams are enjoying themselves. That's for sure.
I mean, are you really playing Hippo Cup if you're not like shithousing in ban phase and then just having a good time? Like I feel like that's just kind of how this tournament goes. Like you're meant to have a good time. Like this isn't the super duper serious tournament of all tournaments where it's like, no, we must be locked in 24/7. So, you know, we're always glad.
It's great to have those tournaments mixed in with how many, like, you know, serious tense tournaments there are that you have to be super prepared for. To have a tournament that is just, you know, you have your 8 players, have a good time, and pick maps that are fun.
And speaking of maps that are fun, Free Mod 3 is fun. It might be fun for the players. This is not fun for the spectators, let me tell you. This is, of course...
Boncho Break Center.
Yeah, this is Break Core with a lot of buzz sliders. So, you know, just you can't trust any misses at all that you see on the screen until about 15 seconds later. And by that point, there's been another buzz slider, so you, again, can't trust it. So, this one, you just kind of have to wait to see how it shakes out. I am kind of surprised to see Battle of HK first picking this, to be honest, as we were talking about -45 being a reasonably strong tapping team. But clearly Battle of HK feels comfortable with this particular pick.
Yeah, I mean, they do have Ethan Tricks and Ice Shark as kind of solid speed players. Does Chillier play this one? I have to imagine Yoxpie sits this one out. And yeah, there's Chillier pair. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think you run Chillier, Wiran, Escrupulio, and Sigi normally for this if you're -45. That's what I would anticipate for their tapping roster, assuming that they are all here and all available. Battle of HK, Ice Shark, Ahio, Ethan Tricks, and Shari Tori looks to be the 4th. I can't imagine Woey's going to be playing this. I don't really think this is his skill set. Respectfully, not known as a tapping player. And yeah, he will not be here.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye on Shari Tori. He's an underrated player on some of these tapping picks, in my opinion. We'll see how this first map goes. Of course, this one I could see going either way. As always for the score everyone, a lot of solo carry potential. Definitely something to look out for. Doesn't feel like either of these teams have, you know, game-breaking speed players, so they're going to be relying on a bit more of a team performance, I suspect.
Yeah, I do think somebody like Ice Shark is really, really good at this. I also think Sigi is capable of being really, really good at this. So if anybody, those would be the ones that kind of jump out at me. But after that, yeah, definitely feels like it could be anybody performing well. And there are so many ways you can break on this map. We saw it yesterday a few times where you just can miss on, there's slider streams and buzz sliders and little aim patterns and stuff just all over the place. So very easy to have a little bit of difficulty here and there. And unsurprisingly, -45 going to rock the hard rock overmod with a triple hard rock. This one, base air 9 at 250 BPM does provide a little bit of a reading challenge, and it's not like it's spaced or anything. So running hard rock on this kind of can make it almost easier in a way. Ethan Tricks, of course, Hidden Specialist, going to be running Hidden for Battle of HK with Ahio on the Hard Rock. And we'll get underway and see how this goes. First pick, Battle of HK, liking their odds on the Breakcore free mod.
Yeah, we're going to do our best to commentate this one, as we do have a couple of real misses already. But we've got the crazy bunch of miss section coming up, so once we get into the harder part of the map, we're going to start seeing a lot of fake misses. So you have to wait about 5 seconds before you can actually trust the miss. As we see, Ririn found a fake miss there. It's going to be perfectly fine. It's just a slight edge over to Battle of HK, but there's so much combo possible in this map. It is so dense that we're going to have some very, very high combos. And when some of those combos start to drop off, I think the score is going to swing one way or the other incredibly, incredibly quickly once we really get into it.
Yeah, definitely. Score gets huge on this if players hold those big combos. It is Chili Repair struggling a little bit, and it has felt like he's been a little up and down so far in this tournament. Obviously very busy with real life responsibilities, so maybe not getting as much time to practice as he would like. We'll see how he performs as we get past halfway mark. There's some more of those patterns that can be very easily fake missed on, but combo not coming back for Chili or Hinori, so those might be real misses. Same for Ice Shark there. However, it is an 8 million score lead so far for Battle of HK. Ethan, Ahio, and Sharitori holding the FCs against Weiren and Sigi from -45 to build a 10 mil. Oh my goodness, which of those were real misses? I don't know. Let's find out.
Probably all of them. No, probably none of them. I mean, it looks like it is 2 real misses. And it's just Weiren holding the full combo, staring down 3 FCs, Ice Shark, Sharitori, Ethan Tricks. Ahio is not too far behind, and a Battle of HK off to an incredibly good start here, as it looks like that was 1 FC dropped off from Ice Shark holding onto 2, and they're going to win this one incredibly decisively. It's going to be likely 60 million by the end, and this is the part of the map where... we'll see which one of those misses. Were they all real?
I think those were all actual misses, yeah. That last slider stream just catches everyone, it feels like. And let's see as we load the scores here. Yeah, no FCs, unfortunately. But good team score there from Battle of HK, and man, -45. Okay, maybe not the superior tapping team here by any means, as Hinori and Chili Repair both drop B rank, or no, drop it a B rank and a low A rank score-wise. I guess he only had 3 misses, 97 AC. I don't know why that felt like worse than that, but the score is similar between those two, so maybe that's why. Good performance from Sigi and Weiren, as you kind of would anticipate, but getting 3rd and 4th player syndromed there for -45, whereas all 4 members of Battle of HK played that quite well to get their first point up on the board to start this out. Now I'm very interested where -45 is going to go. Hinori, he was forced to play speed. I wonder if they're having issues with like a Scrupulio's availability. I think there was a match in group stage maybe or two that he just did not play in at all. And he is like a super strong mechanics player, so a little surprised not to see him in for stuff like this. Keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, I think the one extra combo wouldn't have made the difference this time around. That was pure dominance from Battle of HK. Yeah. And I mean, they've got a pretty clear direction going forward. They don't even necessarily need to pick the rating maps. If they can just be this dominant on the speed, and if -45, I don't actually have their full speed roster available. And so we'll see what direction -45 want to go in. We thought before this match maybe speed. After that one, definitely not going to be the case. And so they're going to have to find a different direction. Maybe we see them opt into something like the alt focus picks. Maybe they look for a flow aim, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't have a good feel for it either. It's just going to be maybe a matter of just finding a comfort pick of any sort. A A lot of like alt in this pool, right? So there's a bunch of options kind of in that skill set if it's something you feel good about opting into. You know, some aim control choices as well. I'm just gonna I feel like it's just kind of gonna play this by ear a little bit, right? Difficult to say, oh yes, we are absolutely picking this skill set. It's just like what feels good at the moment in time. And I guess what feels good is DT1. So despite losing the speedy free mod, they're going to opt into a relatively speedy DT pick with the 240 BPM Air 10.2. This is finger control and some kind of spaced little bursts and slider finger control stuff, as well as kind of traditional tapping finger control. Very interesting first pick from them after the way that free mod 3 went, I feel.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's a pretty similar speed. It's only 10 BPM lower. Of course, there's going to be a little bit less dense, and you don't have the crazy amount of plus sliders that we saw in the previous map, but certainly not the pivot away from speed that I thought we'd see. And Battle of HK have a chance to get to get one early break point here. That would feel really good for them. And I think if Battle of HK win this one, the speed advantage would be pretty clear, whereas if minus 45 can take a point here, I think it's a little bit more up in the air.
Yeah,
No fail.
we're running no fail. I'm sorry, it's in the rules. You're just running no fail. Yeah, it's all about finding a comfy skill set. Especially in these like, I'm like of a divided mind with the giant best of, right? Finding a solid skill set might not win you the match outright the way it does in a shorter best of, right? Like if you have a pool that has like 3 speed maps in it and something is a best of 11 or a best of 9 even, it's like you're set for the entire match. Whereas in a best of 13, like you're still gonna have to find something else. But even then, getting out to a big lead can also be mentally demoralizing if you're up like 3-0, 4-1 in a best of 13. So I suppose the advantage is still there. But we'll find out if minus 45 just had a bad run on that free mod 3 and they can do better here on their own first pick. DT1, Chillier, Sigi, Weirin, and Knight against Ethan, Ice Shark, Sharitori, and Ahio. You want to get off on the right foot here if you're minus 45.
Certainly do. And it looks like Skiatso and Misha both unavailable for Battle of HK for this one, so that's going to balance things out a little bit in terms of the roster availability. This one, we're going to see some more real misses as we're struggling at the start of this one. Battle of HK still holding on to their combos, but we should see the players hold on at least for the start of the map, and after this kind of slider section, we get into some trickier bursts. Sharitori does find the next miss, going to even things out, keep things close between these two teams.
Yeah, 3 FCs against 3. Accuracy staying very good about everywhere, man. Really impressive throughout the lobby. That is 599s, a couple high 98s. Really well done through that first half of the map. It's a small lead for minus 45, about 130 combo for Weirin over Sharitori. Sharitori does have the hidden advantage, but there's the next break. It's going to be Knight with the question mark in smoke. Yeah, I'd be probably question marking as well. That's a really unfortunate place to miss. Now 3FC's2 Battle of HK going to take the lead back.
Yeah, it looks like it's a super random slider break after the burst, and it's going to feel, oh, that's devastating for minus 45. That is a miss you couldn't afford at this point. I think now, especially with Weirin missing the combo, is just not there. And it should be a break point for Battle of HK on the minus 45 first pick.
Yeah, this is, again, a very solid team performance from Battle of HK. 3 FCs coming into the last moments. Ice Shark will break late in things, so let's see. Will we close out double? Yes, we will. Double FC on Ethan and Ahio. A good recovery score from Sharitori, and just a last-moment choke there from Ice Shark in the last 70 combo. Chillier pair drops the lone FC for minus 45, so the comfort back for him after not having a great showing on the first map, but man, just did not get what they needed, right? For minus 45, the first pick, you have 1 miss, 2 miss on Sigi, Knight, and Weirin. Got to have another FC against a team as good as Battle of HK, it would appear, if you want to make it more competitive than that. Early breakpoint 2-0 with the attempted consolidation to come for Battle of HK, and you just pick into tapping if you're that team now, right? Based on the way these first 2 maps went.
Yeah, I think after that one, it's pretty safe to say Battle of HK should have the edge on a lot of the tapping maps, and thankfully for them, there's actually quite a few tapping maps in the pool, so it's going to take a couple picks before they run out of options. Obviously, they have picked the free mod speed map. They still have one in the no mod pool, and then a couple of DT maps as well. So curious if they do want to go into like, what would be the next like raw speed map? There's Jet Right, which is more tapping, just streams than speed. So likely you'd have to look into that DT pool.
Yeah, there's DT2, which has a bunch of 250 BPM streams. DT4, which is of course 290 plus.
Yeah,
Those would
course
be
K.
those would be a couple of the kind of standouts. And indeed, there we go, DT4. All right. That is the highest BPM in the entire Mappington pool. It is 292.5. It has very, very fast bursts, as well as some like tricky like kick slider jumps and stuff too. So you have to really be in control of your aim as well as the tapping. But I think this makes a lot of sense as the next pick for Battle of HK, the way those first two maps went.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Course K. It's a very short map as well, so every single miss is going to matter. This one is incredibly short, right? So we're not going to see such crazy big combos, which means it's going to be more of a team battle. It makes it a little bit harder for a single player to solo carry, but we've seen both of these teams putting up really, really high combos consistently on this pool, so it's entirely possible if they're just good enough to play this map to a high level.
Do we see any roster changes? Do we think?
Probably not.
Is
I
it
mean,
just
it's
the exact same
You
eight?
have your tapping rosters, right? And especially for Battle of HK, no need to change up what's working for you.
Read somewhere, right? Never change a winning plan. Always change a losing plan. And they're in that former camp right now. If you've got something good, just keep doing what you're doing. It does look like we've got Ethan, Shari, Torre, Shark, and Ahio in the lobby. We're in Sigi. You would anticipate Chillier and perhaps Knight as the fourth again. Big question mark is a Scrupulio, man. They feel like would be very convenient to have him for the mechanics picks in this pool, but unfortunately, perhaps not going to be available.
Yeah, very high skill cap player as well, one that can put up big combos on these maps, so definitely going to hurt, but hasn't bothered them so far, as it looks like we do have largely the same rosters for both teams. Yolkspy
Yolkspy?
is a slightly surprising addition. I have not known Yolkspy particularly to be a 292 BPM player.
he mashes this. I mean, he just mashes this.
He must, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, there are not that many people who can tap this properly in the first place, right? It's a pretty short list at nearly 300 BPM, but Yolkspy just okay. He's not in for this anyway. It's fine. It's Knight. We do a small amount of trolling. Yeah, that makes way more sense. That makes way more sense. And Jelly Chef's coming out. So now we have the right players in. Yeah. I mean, I low-key, like, the bursts aren't super long, so I could see a MASH player in for this, but if you've got somebody who's more comfortable on it, definitely going to use them. So we'll see if Battle of HK can consolidate the break point for a 3-0 lead here as we head into one of the shorter maps in this pool. This is, what, like 50-something seconds? And about minus 45. Gonna try to get on the board, try to get the break point back early.
Oh, here we go. This map does not waste much time, gets right into it. This one is going to be over before you know it, and we're going to be seeing breaks left, right, and center as already a couple misses for both teams, but trade is going to favor minus 45 ever so slightly as the score should flip back over, but it's really going to come down to this next section. This upcoming section is incredibly tricky, really tough to hold a combo through, and we can actually see some pretty low accuracies as well. First big miss from Ice Shark and Ethan Trigg, so Battle of HK on the back foot on their second pick. Sherry Tori as well. It's really just Ahio holding. Nobody trading back on minus 45. There goes Chillier, Pear, and Knight. That's going to slow the bleeding a tiny bit, but with still 2 big combos going strong, minus 45 are in a really good spot.
Yeah, Battle of HK just had way too many of those standard speed player missing on aim moments in the first half of this map, and now this lead is so big, I don't really think there's much they can do at all. You've got a little combo in Shari Tori, but it's just not going to matter to bring this much back. And yeah, this is going to be the break point immediately coming back. You know, the first half of this map is quietly the most important part. Because it's so hard to combo afterward. You have to, it's actually, this is my hot take. This is secretly an aim map because the most important part of the map is defined by aim. And if you do the speed player missing on aim thing, you just fall behind by 2 million score and you can't make that back in the second half. And that's exactly what happened there to Battle of HK. And that's the break point back, just like that, in somewhat confusing but somewhat logical fashion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the other side of the coin is if you can't do the burst, then the aim doesn't matter and you're going to get no score anyways. But minus 45 are able to keep up enough on the burst to capitalize on that aim that you mentioned. And so breakpoint given back over. Battle of HK, maybe not able to speed abuse as much as it initially looked like they could. Maybe going to give them a bit of pause going forward. I'm curious if minus 45 decide to just pick more tapping because, I mean, that's all we've seen so far. Why not? Why not keep it going?
Yeah, we should just pick every available tapping map in the pool and then, you know, ridge out from there eventually. But, like, let's just play DT2, and then let's play Nomad 2, and then let's play Hard Rock 3, and then finally the match can maybe start after that. Like, just play everything that requires your left hand for the first, like, half of this match, and just see where it takes us. I think mono skill set, you know? Who needs to play anything else?
There you go. It's like a game of chicken with speed maps. Whoever picks the non-tapping map first just loses by default.
Any options? Yes. DT2. DT3 is like a light tapping map. That one's finger control. DT6 is kind of more aim-based. We could just go straight through the DT pool, though. I mean, why not? There's still 3 more maps in it. We've gone DT1, DT4, so let's go DT2, then DT3, then DT6. Nope, Chillier says, screw that. We're going Hard Rock 1. We're going just the brutally difficult Hard Rock tech pick. Site of Crystal's heroics yesterday in that first quarterfinals match that we watched. That was Dadunai versus John Poyler. Crystal going crazy at the last, 1,200 combo straight to win the map and the match. See if somebody can pull some crazy shenanigans like that in this one as well, though it's much earlier in the match here, of course. And this is not Hard Rock 1. This is Hard Rock 2, so...
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I'm sure.
We'll get there.
Yeah, this one, insanely difficult. Very solo carryable if by some miracle you can hold on to a big combo, which I don't expect to see from most players on this one. But I do think this looks quite good for it. Minus 45. We talked about how good they have been on some of the Hard Rocks. I do expect to see Chillier pair back in the lobby for this one. And Hunt in as well.
Yeah, this one I think we'll see some different rosters finally, with this being such a different kind of map. Very likely to see a bunch of new players in for this one, which is exciting because we've seen, what, 9 players, I think, so far is all.
Yeah.
So now we get to expand out a little bit, broaden our horizons. Now you see Listia coming in, you see Wowie coming in, you see Haunt coming in. Don't know who necessarily will be the 4th for minus 45 for this. Maybe it's a Yokes Pie angle. I could see it being a Yokes Pie HDHR. But we'll find out as we wait on that last player.
Yeah, I mean, looks like you're just running Yokes Pie indeed. So you were right there, and I agree. I think Yokes Pie is going to be taking the hidden every single time. So they're going to be running the hidden Hard Rock on this one. And a pretty big roster change for Battle of HK. Wowie, Listia, and Ice Shark all in for this one.
Okay. Chili Chef's coming out. We get... So after all that, we only actually get 3 new players into the lobby? I guess that's something, right?
A good amount. I mean, that's more than you see in a lot of matches, regardless of what skill set you go for. You just have
We have
So many teams
nine.
that have half
We
the roster perma-lobbied.
have 9-player teams, man. I'm just saying, 9-player teams.
Yeah, it's the classic. Have 9 players and just have the same 4 in the lobby for the whole match.
Dadunai yesterday had a
Exactly.
had a 5th player on who played 1 map, and other than that, it was 4 perma lobbies, and they won.
What
Not
we've
gonna
learned is 4 is greater than 9.
not gonna see that every day, I don't think, but saw it there, and in we go. Early misses from Woey, Ice Shark, and Listia, so good start for -45 on their pick here. Just what you'd like as you're trying to level the match out, but there go Knight and Hinori as they start to see players hopefully settling into the map a little bit. That intro is quite challenging.
Yeah, really the whole map is quite challenging, so I suspect I can see a lot more misses, but yeah, we should see some players able to build up some combos now, and the big combos at the very least are pretty even with Ice Shark recovering, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on those recoveries. Knight and Ice Shark trade, that's gonna be favorable for -45, as notably Chillier and Haunt still hold on to those FCs. Right now, only really being matched by Ahio. Knight finds another miss, but that one's not really going to matter, as halfway through the map, they've got a 1 million point score lead, but with score every 1 million points is almost nothing. If we see those FCs drop on -45, this one could go back over in an instant, but does require that Battle of HK hold on to their big combos as well.
Which they might do.
Listia crashed, that's not good.
Listia crashed? Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
And we're halfway into the map.
I mean, we're already halfway.
That's restartable. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, we're way too far through the map, unfortunately. It is actually crazy. It's actually...
They could have brought it back.
Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, they still can. I mean, Scorpio 1 is solo carryable, and Ahio is still holding near an FC at least, so if Chillier breaks, this is technically still doable. And look at how close the score is.
Yeah.
So strictly, this is not over yet. I mean, there is a break from Chillier Hinori. Ahio broke as well, but Ice Shark's got a pretty big combo. Not anymore. This is even as a 3v4, like this is really not over. But we'll see what happens the rest of the way through. It's looking like it might be a little unfortunate for Battle of HK, because if it stays close and they lose, then well, without the crash, this may have been winnable. But we'll see what happens. It's still only 1 million points.
Yeah, Haunt does back up to 500 combo. Not really anyone on Battle of HK matching. I think, I mean, Listia did have 400 combo, but I was not consistently one of the higher combos in that one. So quite possibly wouldn't have ended up making a difference. As in the end, it is a solid 2 million point lead for -45. But you never know, right? It doesn't feel good either way.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Would have been at worst close, and it still was, right? So sucks to see, but that is a -45 point. That's a S rank for Chillier Pair and for Ice Shark, so well done to both of them. Only slider breaking for either of those players. That ties it up 2 apiece, and man, I really like. You ever see players crash in like Counter-Strike tournaments or League of Legends or Valorant tournaments? Like, Osu's got to get its proverbial shit together. It just happens too much in this game, man. We have all these problems with the tournament client. We have players crashing all over the place. I mean, it's just ugh.
Maybe it doesn't happen too often, but yeah, I agree. Definitely more than games like Counter-Strike and League. But I mean, also if you're looking at League, right, you don't have people playing on like their own setups. They're usually provided by the tournament, whereas League definitely crashes on occasion. Not quite in the same way, of course.
Also, I guess it's like less damaging, I suppose. Because like even like in League, if your game crashes, you can get back in, and there's still like another 20 minutes of the game, right? If you crash in Osu, like you just lose the map.
Yeah, pretty much. We've got title theme.
Title theme. Aim control, baby. We're going aim control. So both teams saying after 3 picks, we've had enough of tapping. We're gonna do other stuff now. As -45 went into the Hard Rock Tech, and Battle of HK is gonna go into the Nomad aim control, aim consistency kind of hybrid thing with some just really weird, right? The patterning in this, the linear grid snap geometric patterns are something to behold, really, in this map.
Yeah, that's on another short map, so it is, again, a little bit difficult to build up massive advantages on your own, but this is a great pick for Battle of HK. I mean, this very much feels like a Wowie map, right? Could definitely see Listia in for this one as well, and Ethan Trix is quite solid on these. I'm not sure who their fourth is, but I feel like they have options depending on who's actually available.
Yeah, it's like the upside and the downside of these giant teams. It's like the odds of having your entire team are less just because there's more people to worry about having, but you also have more options even if you're missing players. So just kind of depends on how important those particular individuals may be to your rosters for the maps that are going to be played in that match. Ignation never dies. Dang, Ignation. That is a throwback. I don't know if Ignite's still around. He was the Team Canada cheerleader in OWC over the past few years. Not sure if that's still a role he's fulfilling or not.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure what really goes into that role. You know, make a teaser video for the start and then, you know, be a cheerleader, I guess.
He did like
probably is still around in some capacity.
He did like the hype speeches and stuff, you know?
Yeah. True. I think it was around last year at the very least. Not sure about the next year coming up. We'll have to we're gonna have to wait quite a while to see, as it's only February, so we've got a ways to go. But before then, long before then, I should say, we've got a Nomad 7 on our hands.
We do, and we're awaiting Chillier to replace someone, it seems, but I don't know who that someone is. Looks like we've got Ethan, Wowie, Shari, Tori, and Ahio against Sigi, Chillier, Yokes, and Haunt, I think, based on the discussion that they're having in chat. Both sides with some really solid aim control players, so he just typed Knight instead of N-I-Q-H-T. That's not how that's spelled. It's a Q.
Oh, no.
It's a Q. All right, there we go. So we've got Ahio in the lobby as the fourth for Battle of HK, and we will shortly have Chillier, I think, as the fourth for -45, and we'll actually be able to get going here. It's a challenge for everyone. We'll get through it together, I promise.
Struggle. Thankfully, we don't have to spell it here. You know, it's pronounced the same either way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to call him like Nicht.
Night, cute.
Nicked. I don't know. This doesn't work. All right. In we go, Nomad 7 at long last. Who will emerge to take the lead back in this match? -45, winning the 2 points to tie it up. Battle of HK, the pick, though.
Yeah, I mean, more than -45, they've got momentum. So yeah, those are some tricky patterns at the start of this one. Unsurprised that we're seeing quite a few early misses. This one, obviously, especially brutal on the hidden, so more so than the other maps. I think you're gonna expect the bigger combos out of the Nomad players. As we see Chillier and Yokespie having a little bit of a rough time on this one. Sherry Tori has found an early miss as well, but the combo's pretty solid, mostly from CG and Han. It looks like it's going to be now 3-2 in favor of Battle of HK, as while -45 are finding lots of misses, they're keeping the two big combos up, and that's going to be the key going forward.
Yeah, Sigi and Haunt continuing to hold, so they're going to keep this in touch. But Ethan, Trix, Wowie, and Shari Tori all with the combo on the Battle of HK side. There goes Wowie breaking on kind of a slow pattern. So that might open the door a little bit, but there goes Haunt. It's traded back, and that's still a 2-combo-to-1 lead for Battle of HK with Ethan, Shari, Tori holding. There goes Sigi, and I think there goes any chance that -45 had of bringing this one back as we head into the last quarter.
Yeah, Ethan Trix still holding this combo on the hidden is absolutely absurd. Obviously, one of the best reading players in the game, and Shari Tori there to support as well on the Nomad, and yeah, it's going to be a 3rd point for Battle of HK, so they do give up a couple points, but they are right back to it on the Nomad 7, and now -45 has the pick. We'll see if they want to go back into tech. Did look pretty solid for them.
Yeah, the Hard Rock 1 was a very good pick for -45. The Nomad 7, clearly a pretty good pick there for Battle of HK, but not really a lot else in this skill set exactly for them to follow this up with when the pick comes back over to them. But yeah, -45, I mean, they'll have, I don't know, maybe something like the Nomad 4 is there. There's a little less kind of true tech in this pool. So I don't necessarily know if winning that Hard Rock 1 leads you directly to any other picks. So we might just be getting to that stage already, you know, 6 picks in, where we start to just see kind of all different types of maps based on what's available in the pool. Maybe the Nomad 4 is available, as is the Nomad 5. We talked about that early with the reading skill of these teams. Nomad 5 could be a kind of contested pick here. Also could just stay in Hard Rock if you're minus 45. You've got Hard Rocks 2 and 3, and there it is, indeed. It'll be Hard Rock 2. So they just, I think, liked the Hard Rock mod, because this is obviously a very, very different map than Hard Rock 1. This is just a Hard Rock alt pick, right? Kind of flowy, consistent Hard Rock alt.
Yep, it's an interesting pick. Obviously, we saw Battle HK looking good on the flow aim, but I think generally they don't quite have the players for the Hard Rock necessarily. You know, Chiller, Knight, and Yoke's Pie are going to look pretty solid on this one. And honestly, they're all pretty strong on the flow aim as well, so it does make a lot of sense. As I think we're likely going to go back to a similar roster to the one we saw on the Hard Rock 1 for both teams.
Yeah, I think would be pretty expected here. We have Hunt, we have Chili Repair, we have Knight. It's going to be Yoke's Pie coming in, it looks like, in place of Hinori, who was the 4th for the Hard Rock 1, but otherwise same. And then Ice Shark, Woey, Ethan Tricks, and maybe do you go Listia again here, like for the Hard Rock 1? I'm not positive.
I don't think so. I think it's likely just, well, I could see it. And I guess, like, they do have a couple players missing, so it is always hard to say. I could just see Ahio come back in. I think has been in for every map so far, I want to say, off the top of my head. And has looked pretty good on a lot of them.
Checking. Yeah, Ahio has indeed been in for all 5 maps, now 6 of this match. So proving their worth to the team with the perma-lobby status. And all the GLHFs come in, so we will get in to a little bit longer of a map than a few we've seen. It's up over 3 minutes, which for this pool is kind of long, actually. There's only a couple of 3-minute long maps across the entire pool. And we'll see who's got the ult going in this lobby. See, minus 45 can tie it back up. Battle HK looking for another break point, perhaps.
Perhaps. This one, I think, slightly longer, 3 minutes 15. So, the first time in a couple maps, there's a little bit of leeway on those early misses. It's not quite the end of the world. Haunt isn't going to be too worried. It's certainly down by 50 combo. And it is really going to come down to that consistency throughout the map. I'd say this one isn't too spiky. It is pretty consistent in terms of difficulty throughout. And we're just going to see a couple of misses traded here and there for the time being.
Yeah, I do have the early break from Woey. Not the greatest. He's going to be a little bit farther behind on the combo. But yeah, it's not the end of the world yet by any stretch of the imagination. Comfort level clearly there for a lot of players. Look at those accuracies on Battle of HK, man. Very impressive stuff. A little bit farther behind for a couple members of minus 45, but keeping it up there as well, and the score reflecting the very similar matched nature of the teams on the pick so far as we are going to get into the Ki here. Will we see any breaks on these kind of snappy patterns heading into the sliders? Gotta be on top of your game, and it's going to be Yokespy and Haunt to both fall to answer that question.
Battle of HK now have a chance to capitalize if they can align to their combos, but they really need to survive this section. Woey does find the miss. If they can hold on to one more combo, they're going to be in a really good spot, but it's a miss from Chili Repair. That's going to hurt, and now Battle of HK, make that. That's going to be 3 combos in the advantage now, and they're going to absolutely run away with this one. This is a much... Okay, I'm messing on the slow section, actually. That's going to help a little bit, but even then, the combos are just so massive on Ethan Tricks and Ice Shark that It's going to take a pretty big meltdown from Battle of HK to bring this one back. The score lead already up to 6 million points. There's a miss from Ice Shark also on this low section. So the section that you would normally expect to be able to really push your advantage on is tripping Battle of HK up quite a bit. Thankfully, they do still have Ethan Tricks holding strong. As long as Ethan Tricks hold minus 45, doesn't really have much they can do about it.
Ethan Tricks looking really good this match so far in general, and kind of just continuing a trend. Accuracy be damned, he's going to keep the combo up, and that's all that matters. That can kind of get you through that last section, right? That slower section, you can sacrifice a little act for combo as he did there, and it'll be all right as he is continuing to match basically the full amount of combo for minus 45 by himself. 1,000 combo for Ethan, and decent backing combo on Wowie as well. Chillier and Yolkspy kind of just doing what they can, but this is looking pretty solid here for Battle of HK, coming down to the last section of map. If Chillier, Yolkspy both hold and everybody from Battle of HK just ceases to play, but even then, I think this is pretty over. It's 11 million score. It's a really good team score once again, just not getting quite what they needed. We're minus 45 on this map.
Ethan Tricks putting on a show.
Whoa! He hit that too!
Hard Rock pick. That's crazy. I mean, if you take out the other 3 players for Battle of HK, Ethan Tricks would only be 10 million points behind, which is pretty good in a 1v4.
You don't have
and
to see
actually,
this.
It's going to be a lot less. I mean, surely.
Oh my
God.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh
We
my
spoke too soon.
God!
It wasn't meant to be.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that's so sad. That would have been so cool. That would have been man. Well, he's not the first person that's happened to. Looking at the leaderboard, rank 2 on the leaderboard is Michny with a 1357 combo. Ethan Tricks with the 1351 combo. I suspect much the same thing happened. That is like such a traditional Ethan Tricks play, man, with the HDHR 95 AC, call it pretty much an FC, and by himself, you mentioned the scoreline, by himself only 8 million score behind the entirety of minus 45, so really, really impressive stuff from him. That's leading the way to the break point there for Battle of HK, and Wowie putting up the 0 score D rank, let's go! What a beast!
Hey, 100% accuracy. That's a D rank SS right there.
D rank SS? Wait, I need to screenshot this. Sorry, I don't know what this does to the stream, but the D rank SS. Never before seen.
Only in Hippo Cup.
All right, so breakpoint Battle of HK. They're not up 5-2. It's actually 4-2. That was not a point for them. He got 0 score. I don't know how the game thinks that's a point. And they're going to go back to the Nomad pool. So we've gone Hard Rock, Nomad, Hard Rock, Nomad. There is still a Hard Rock and there are still Nomads, so we could do it again. We could just repeat this pattern for 6 straight maps. Nomad 4, Night Theater, Banger.
And they are playing against Knight, so you know.
Does he get an advantage?
Quick ease to pop off.
Does he get an advantage on this map?
The name buff. But yeah, I think Battle of HK looked really, really good on these aim controls. Ethan Tricks, especially after that last performance, is going to be feeling pretty good. And I think a player you can definitely look to put up a big combo on really any aim control focus pick. Listia also going to be in, unsurprisingly. Otherwise, roster is going to be looking largely similar.
Yeah, we've got steady rosters for these teams. Everybody's missing people, right? So I guess that just is gonna be bound to happen when teams are missing as many players as everybody here seems to be. So we've got no Skia, no Schwartz, no Misha, no Fiery, no Escrupulio. Is that we're missing 5 out of the 18 players? Does that seem about right?
Something like that. And apparently Scatso has multiple FCs on this, but just in the wrong match. You know, you're supposed to be FCing it in this one.
Instead of just not being here for this one at all. That is exactly not what you need. That doesn't help your team.
Right, exactly. That is like the one downside, you know, to not playing.
Downsides of not playing. Can't help team. Checkbox.
It's you know, it's a minor downside.
You know, maybe they'll 4-way it and prove that it didn't matter. That would be something else. altogether.
That would be pretty incredible. I would be quite shocked.
I don't expect to see any four ways on this pool. I'm pretty sure we haven't
No.
seen any yet this weekend, and I don't think we will.
No.
I don't know that this map is the place that it would start either, but I guess you never know as we head into it here.
Yeah, let's see if -45 can keep things even, or if Battle HK will continue to push their lead and consolidate this break point.
Another one of these kind of tricky aim control alt maps, which it feels like there are quite a few of in this map pool. I know some players were commenting in map pool feedback about the prevalence of alt in this quarterfinals map pool. And yeah, this is kind of another one like that, but a little different. This one's a little flowier. It does have some of those snap patterns, does have some of the sliders, but plenty of flowy alt patterns as well. And Sigi struggling a little bit in the early goings. Knight and Haunt also falling. Still the far away for Battle of HK thus far through the first quarter. They'll open up already a 2 million score lead just like that.
Yeah, I have to imagine Battle of HK, not one of those teams in map pool feedback. I imagine they're going to be pretty happy with the amount of aim control and alt in the pool, and they're off to an incredibly strong start. They are still holding the 4-away. We'll see how long that lasts. Nobody getting caught out by the slider, and -45, they are down by 4 million. They have a couple combos there, but no SCs. They're falling incredibly far behind him. We're already at the halfway mark, and Battle of HK are quickly approaching twice the score of -45, and it feels like it's just a question of how many FCs can Battle of HK hold on to.
Yeah, this is man, this is quite impressive stuff from them on this pick. Really like what we're seeing out of that team right now. So they can get through this challenging, tricky pattern, and they do. A couple more misses from -45, but it's really just all eyes on Battle of HK now. Last quarter of the map with 4 FCs still intact, which is absolutely crazy work from them. No, it is going to be a late break from Listia, and there are some very tricky patterns at the end, so could see another break in the last few moments here. As there go Ahio and Ice Shark as I say that. Will Ethantrix get another FC in? Will he do it? No, the ending aim. Goodbye. He just missed about 12 times in the last 3 seconds. But let's see. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so he finishes with the worst miscount on the team, despite being the last one with an FC intact. But it's okay because they won that by just a whole lot, just a real whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, Ethantrix just missed, I think, the slider beforehand, and then just didn't actually bother trying to hit the ending pattern. So find a couple misses, but not to worry. You know, I guess the hidden advantage of not playing is your team can just pop off and put up some ridiculous scores for themselves. Battle of HK are going to be up by 3 points now, up by 1 break point, and so -45 can't really afford any more misfires with their next couple of picks.
And it's getting increasingly hard to know where to go, I think, right? As you start to make your way through the pool, there's fewer options available, and you're losing skill sets. You know, you've got given up 2 break points, so losing on skill sets that you obviously anticipated to be winnable. You know, like I said, we went Hard Rock Nomad, and there is still a Hard Rock, so maybe we just go Hard Rock Nomad one more time. Just do it for the culture. Hard Rock 3 still left, which is the, just Nomad 2 in the Hard Rock pool type of map. And then Battle of HK could subsequently go, Nomad 1 or 5 or 6 or 8, like probably not Nomad 2, but plenty of other options there. And then we just have a really nice repeating pattern in the picks.
There you go. That would be one way to go. They're going to take their time with this one, I think. Like you said, it's getting really hard to find good picks at this point. They could go back to the Hard Rock, but I mean, we've seen a couple of the tapping maps go either way, but generally look Battle of HK favored, so I think they might be a little bit hesitant to opt into that one, at least for now. You know, Battle of HK are not on match point yet, so they have at least one more pick after this one. And so they don't necessarily need to pick that yet if they don't want to. It's going to be a free mod 1.
Dang,
it's going to be Jackknife. Okay.
Jackknife, which is my stereotypical least favorite map in the pool simply because it's 4.5 freaking minutes long. I spoke of this as kind of being like a spiritual successor to last week's free mod 4, where it is just a really long consistency test with a whole bunch of bursts and some slider shenanigans thrown in as well. Very tricky. The bursts and streams and stuff, really spaced flow patterns in a lot of them. So it can be very challenging to keep a combo up through plenty of portions of this map, especially if you run a hard rock on it. That spacing gets pretty challenging, so interested to see how it goes to the players here. And if minus 45, you guys could have kept the pattern going. If you wanted to pick flow aim, you could have picked hard rock 2, or hard rock 3, I mean. So sad.
Yeah, it is a little sad, but you know, this one's a bang. Well, the song is a banger.
Yeah.
The length, not so much. But either way, I think this is another map that is very solo carryable, and over the past 2 maps, Ethan-Trix has been on fire. Obviously, a very different skill set, so you can't necessarily expect the same, but there are definitely quite a few players, honestly, on both teams that could put up really big combos here. And we could see that single combo make the difference. It's not the kind of map where you generally expect to see multiple high combos on, at least once we get into the second half of the map.
Now, it has felt for much of this match like Battle of HK has just kind of been the more consistent team, right? Like they just, on a lot of different maps, have had the superior combo on many players, so I feel like you would first anticipate that to keep going the same way, but you never know. Opportunities there. Feels like a bit of a must-win here if you're minus 45, though, right? Down 5-2. It's match point if you lose this, and it would be Battle of HK's pick with that match point and several more after. So, you know, it's not all or nothing, but you're coming pretty close to your backs being up against the wall at this stage of the match.
Yeah. But this is a pretty similar score to what we saw. I think it was, well, I don't remember which match exactly. One of the ones we saw yesterday was a 6-2 lead, and it was nearly a comeback. Didn't quite make it to the tiebreaker, unfortunately, but, you know, we've seen crazier things happen than a comeback down by only a single break point. But, of course, they can't really afford to make many more mistakes. Only 2 points away now for Battle of HK, and they're an incredibly strong team for a reason. They're the 2nd seed coming to this match.
I think the match you were thinking of was Dadunai versus John Poiler.
Yeah,
they were up 6-2, and John Poiler came back to 6-5 before Dadunai ended up closing it out on that last map. As we're taking our time here getting ready, it would appear. I will say, you know, talk about the seed thing, right? Like, in this particular tournament, no qualifiers or anything, and it's not like it's reseeded after group stage, so seeds really don't mean a whole lot since it's just rank-based, which is why, you know, maybe a little less surprised to see Dadunai into the semifinals than you might be otherwise. But I think we anticipated both of these teams to be quite strong. You know, on paper, some very experienced, very skilled Hippo Cup players among the members in these 2 teams. So we expect good things out of them, and we've seen some very good scores so far in this match. Let's see if we get some more. It's going to be Chillier on the Hard Rock, Yolkspy on the Hidden, Wowie on the Hidden, as well as Ethan-Trix. So no Hard Rock for Battle of HK. A couple of Nomads on Haunt Sigi, Ice Shark, and Ahio. We'll see where the comfort lies on this pick. All these slightly tricky spaced bursts and sliders. It's an Akali map, so you know it's not going to be the easiest thing ever. And the first break is going to come from Haunt, but it's followed up by Ice Shark.
Yeah, it's going to be a trade of the Nomads. Of course, ideally you want to hold on to your modded combos. They're going to be worth a little bit more, as both the Nomad players have now found misses for minus 45. 3 players still holding for Battle of HK. They're off to a pretty good start, and accuracy is really, really solid across the board. Everybody above 98. This is a little bit easier of a map in terms of accuracy, but only 1,000,000 points for Battle of HK. So despite the early misses, minus 45 are well within reach of Battle of HK. All it takes is 1 miss from any of the FCs, but Chillier player, that's an FC you can't really afford to lose on that Hard Rock. It is only Yolkspy holding now on this Hidden, and it is going to keep minus 45 in this for the time being. Ethan does trade one miss back, but Battle of HK are just going to continue to push this advantage.
Yeah, they've got the double FC on Wowie and Ahio to this point. Only about a third of the way through, as this is, as we said, quite a long one. But Ice Shark on the solid backing combo as well to match Sigi. Yolkspie's got to hold that FC for quite some time if minus 45 want any sort of chance in this. The score lead out to 8 million. Plenty of time for that to come back. It's a lot of combo, it's a lot of score, but as you start to get to halfway and past halfway, if that lead continues to be this big, it will start to feel insurmountable. But man, Yolkspie, Sigi doing some work. No! Sigi misaims and then falls on the stream. All of the members of Battle HK held through, and it's Yolkspie kind of on his lonesome here against a double FC on Wowie and Ahio, even with that break from Ice Shark.
Yeah, Battle of HK have built up such a big advantage at this point that they could realistically even afford to drop one of those FCs as long as they hold on to the other one. It's a good thing they do hold on to one, as Wowie has now found a miss on that hidden, so now it's just Ahio versus Yolkspie, but outside of that 1v1, minus 44 needs to find themselves about 15 million points in supporting combo, and right now Ethantrix is matching Haunt, so they don't really have the combo advantage that they need to bring this one back, and they're really running out of time. There's a big miss from Ahio, and now Yolkspie has a chance to bring this one back. When the combos get this big on score v1, I mean, the score multiplier is like almost exponential. And so, Yolkspie not able to hold on, had the chance to bring it back, but that's such a tough pattern. And I think with that miss, minus 45 shouldn't have the combo to bring this one back, and it should be match point for Battle HK, but I mean, there's still a minute left. It's not impossible.
It's not strictly impossible, but it's pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Ethan's still on the 1K combo. He's about doubling Chili Repair, and there's no support on minus 45. So I would say this is pretty over. It was really dependent on Yolkspie, and unfortunately for all of his performance in the first 2/3 of the map, I just couldn't keep that going forever, unfortunately, and despite the best efforts of Chili Repair, he will fall near the ending as well. And Ethantrix, man, this guy's the MVP of this match, and it really doesn't feel particularly close at this stage. Look at what he is doing, holding a 1350 plus combo into the ending. And man, this guy is just going off. It's so nice. You know, Battle of HK just has like extra preference hidden players, and with him being one of them and with him being on the level that he is today, that is such a big benefit for their team, and this is going to end up being a much more one-sided affair than it was looking like it would be, as Battle of HK now 30 million score lead into the ending.
Yeah, and that's, again, 40 million points on Ethantrix alone, making up for half the score of minus 45, and I believe for the third map in a row now, gets the top score in the lobby by a pretty decisive margin here. And yeah, misses the ending, but it's just not a hittable ending.
Yeah, that pattern is just ridiculous, but it's fine. And Ethantrix, 43 mil. Ahio, shoutouts, by the way, 33 mil, same as with Yolkspie, so another couple of really strong scores, but just not the backing scores for minus 45. Nobody else over 20 million, and didn't have a gigantic score like Ethantrix put up. And let's see here. So 43 million top scoring there. Last map top scored by about 2 million. Of course, on the Hard Rock, top scored that by 13 million. And yeah, even if you go back to Nomad 7 on title theme, guess who top scored that? Ethantrix as well. The man is just on a mission. He is playing some remarkable Osu here today to lead Battle of HK to now a 6-2 scoreline and 4 match points in a row available to them.
Yeah, I mean, Ethantrix is just such a good tournament player overall, obviously known especially for the rating and the hidden, but still capable of playing so many maps. And now, minus 45, looking to follow in John Porler's footsteps and try and bring this one back from a 6-2 deficit. It is, there's no easy maps for Battle of HK, and interestingly enough, despite how many good reading players we have on both teams, we've yet to see any reading in this match.
Maybe that's why, though, huh?
Yeah, they could just be balancing each other out, right?
You have so much reading that it's like nobody wants to pick it, just because there's so many good players on each side. It's not Nomad 2, guys. I mean, they could pick Nomad 2, I guess, but I mean, actually, pick Nomad 2. It's a banger. What we said is okay, Nomad 2. All right, there we go.
All right.
I mean, they've won a bunch of tapping maps already, so it's not like it's a bad pick for them. I'm a little surprised that he would actually just listen to Chillier, but I think minus 45 just wants to play Jet Right, and Battle of HK is like, yeah, whatever, we'll play Jet Right. Let's have some fun with it.
I mean, it is definitely a banger. Have to give it to them there.
I love this map. This takes me so far back, dude. Like, so far back. This takes me back all the way to... God, what? 2018?
Yeah, I think it was 2018.
So we go tapping. We go flowy tapping, and we see how it goes for everybody. This is only 194 BPM, so it's not like it's fast by today's standards. This seemed pretty challenging back then, but not anymore. Hey, Schwartz is here.
No way.
He's in the lobby.
Yeah, Schwartz, another very talented rating player. There's no shortage of them in this match. But could be solid on the tapping as well. Like you said, this one not so much a test of the speed, much more a test of that kind of stream aim. And we'll see, it's only 2 minutes and 29 seconds, but with the combo being pretty dense, you can still very much get really big combos and put up solo carry performances.
I guess that's the name of the game in this match, in this tournament. Find a solo carry. Ethan Trix, top score by 10 million. Ethan Trix, top score by 2 million. Ethan Trix, top score by 13 million. Is proof positive that is very, very feasible. Though I think Battle of HK wins all of those even if he is just at the match average. It still does a lot for your margins to have somebody solo carrying to that degree. So we'll see if it happens here again. Hanori asking, why am I in for Nomad 2? Not what you want to see if you're rooting for minus 45 to keep this match going. Yeah, this is like a burst finger control type of thing, quints, triplets, etc. Much more than it is like, you know, a raw stamina Nomad 2. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Battle of HK looking good in the match, looking to close it out. But maybe minus 45 has some tricks up their sleeve. Maybe Andrew Zimmern's face in the background will jump scare Battle of HK. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, Hanuri, we don't have a good time with this one, but if you can find your own player that can top score by, you know, 10, 13 million, it might not make the difference at the end of the day. It's going to be a pretty, well, I'd said it should be a pretty tame start to the map. We do already see a couple players finding the chain misses even, both CG and Donohia's was a Boncho miss, so and I think CG's was a real one, but only 30 combo in, so it's basic. Well, it's going to be close enough to 4 FCs at this point.
There looks like I think a real miss from Chillier, followed up by a miss from Woey, so it's just going to be a couple trades. There goes Ahio for the first real time, again, but not actually again. Big flow pattern, it's going to get Hanori. Ethan Trix and Schwartz still holding. Siga goes down, Chillier down. It's only Haunt for minus 45 against Ethan Trix for Battle of HK. It's a 1v1. It's pretty close, only 600k. Which one will emerge victorious? Ethan Trix has been playing so well this entire match. Does he have one more big carry in him to close it out?
Yeah, has put up the big carry performance 3 times in a row, looking to make that 4. As Haunt is kind of the last hope for minus 45 here. It's not good enough to hold on to the combo. You kind of need to hope for a miss from Ethan Trix at the very least. Oh, that's a big miss. Now Haunt is going to bring this one back. That million points is going to pretty much evaporate as long as we don't see a miss from Haunt in the next few seconds. But that's a very tough pattern. Managed to hit it. Really nice aim on that pattern. In this section, slightly easier up until the next base pattern. So Haunt is going to flip the score lead, and I think minus 45 are going to stick around for one map longer at the very least.
Yeah, this is it's a solo carry performance from somebody. It's Haunt, who really has been pretty quiet this match. But it's
1v4.
Yeah, it is, and it's like a necessary 1v4 because Haunt is getting absolutely no help from their team at all, but holding the FC, so it just doesn't matter. This is absolutely incredible stuff. It finally does break, but the lead is 8 million, and I think that is job done. As minus 45 will take this pick as everyone collapses all over the place except for Ahio. Goodness me. Well done to Haunt. That's a crazy score. Not quite a 1v4, but very close.
There you go. Maybe that's the secret to Ron's stability in Hippo Cup. Forget about balance, right? Just have one player that is like absolutely legendary on every skill set, and have them solo carry on their respective skill set, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, it's pretty much how Hippo Cup has in every non-rank restricted iteration. It feels like it's been a matter of having a couple of just absolutely insane players going off on stuff, and that is an S rank as well from Hunt. So very, very impressive stuff. Just the slider breaks, and that's a point back. And I mean, -45 can make this a real challenge here. They have their own pick to come if they can win this. All of a sudden, a 6-4. This looks a little more interesting, and this is starting to look a little bit more like the Dodunai versus John Porler match if we're not careful.
Yeah, it's pretty much following the exact same storyline, at least for the time being. But -45, they're going to have to win the next 2 picks in order to bring it back to that 6-5 we saw previously. And of course, they don't want to just get 5 points and drop out. They would like to actually make it all the way to the tiebreaker. Easier said than done, but at the very least, they've given themselves a chance here. At this point, I think the picks are pretty up in the air. They could pick a lot of things, but there's no clear pick that's really good for them. You just have to pick whatever is left that you're most comfortable with, or honestly, based on how this has been going so far, find a player that can do really well on the map and pick it for them, and hope nobody on the other team matches.
Yeah, the solo carry strategy is a pretty reasonable one, it feels. We see Weiron coming into the lobby, so maybe we'll get some speed in play here. We do still have DT2 up. Hey, there you go. All right, beautiful. It's a DT2 angle. One of our remaining 3 DTs. It's 250 BPM. Older map. It's 250 BPM bursts and streams. A little bit of that old style aim as well. And that's really all there is to this. It's only a minute and a half long.
And I didn't realize how many ghosts were in this pool. We've got Hard Rock 2, we've got this DT2, we've got the Fremont 3. they're all over the place.
I didn't even think about that. That's pretty funny, actually. There's 3 different ghosts in the pool.
Yeah. We'll see if the ghosts of John Porler are going to haunt -45 here. They can bring it all the way back. Very spooky.
They're going to haunt -45. It's like it's a triple entendre.
It was 100% intentional. I'm just that clever.
You know, you've been doing this for a long time. You pick up a thing or two here and there.
Yeah, I have my my ghost language always at the ready. You never know when you're going to need to pull out the ghost triple entendre.
Exactly. This guy gets it. This guy gets it.
For 3 years, TNG have been preparing for this moment.
All this time, it was just leading up to the moment right here and now, where you could break that one out. So, oh my God, is Scrupulio's here? All it's taken is 10 maps. Man, he would have been nice to have earlier.
Yeah. You'll take what you can get.
Maybe showing up at the right time. Who knows? Wait, Listia's in for this.
Oh, that is a little surprising.
I'm not sure I anticipated that. All right, well,
pretty.
We'll see how this goes for everybody. I actually like the -45 roster for this a fair amount, especially with this Scrupulio here now. You've got Weiron, who's very solid at speed, and Sigi Chili Repair filling it out. So who knows? Maybe -45 can really do something here.
Yeah, I really like it as well. I feel like I would give them the edge on, at least on paper. Obviously, the map itself doesn't always reflect that, but I think -45 have put themselves in a very good position for this pick. We've got Bancho being a little bit difficult. Hopefully everything works out, but seems to be fine, at least on our end. Yeah, I'm sure -45 wouldn't mind the extra player.
All right, well, we're gonna go in. We don't really have a way of telling what's going on, but because they're gonna show up as red or blue just based on where they are in the screen. But let's see. It's another match point opportunity for Battle of HK, but this one is on the -45 pick, so maybe, just maybe, they can get another one up there, get this back to 6-4, and come back underway, perhaps, as Chili Repair does find the early break. That's right at the start. It's fine.
Yeah, some of the accuracies on the side of Battle of HK, notably Ahio and Listia, slightly concerning into the start of the match. Doesn't show a whole lot of comfort, but CG has dropped some accuracy as well. It's going to balance things out, so evidently a couple players on either side that are not super comfortable, but it is a little worrying when you have 3 players on lower accuracy and only one been super comfortable, but in the end, as long as going on for the combo, the accuracy doesn't really matter, and Battle of HK are going to be off to the early lead as Chili Repair has found a miss. The other 3 players are still holding strong, keeping -45 in this. They're just kind of waiting on the next miss from Battle of HK, holding on to their own combos as long as they can. That's pretty much all they can do. It's out of their hands at this point, but we're surely not going to see a 7-way, so the opportunities will come if they can hold on to their combos.
Yeah, I'm really watching Listia. Clearly not comfortable with this BPM and the length of these bursts, and there is the tricky section here to come. See if she can make it through this section. That's going to be a big one. Does break, but it's traded by Chili Repair. Shari Tori the next to fall, though, and that's big for -45. Only down by 2 million, and with 3 FCs now against 2, if they can continue to hold, and Escrupulio and Weirin looking pretty comfortable, if they continue to hold on those 3, this will come back over pretty quickly. And they make it through those bursts as well. There goes the score. And yeah, good pick. It's looking like here for -45, who can run away with the ending of this map with the triple FC still alive.
Yeah, a bit of a change of pace after we had so many maps that just came down to solo carry performances. Nice to see -45 putting up an incredibly strong team performance here. It looks like they're going to be finding 3 FCs, barring any misses randomly at the end. And really, really strong score from them. Chillier, the only one to drop, and even Chillier was able to put up a solid supporting score. And wow, that ended up being really close. 3 million points. Both of these teams putting up incredibly impressive scores.
Yeah, I mean, it's 5 full combos, and the Listia and Shari Tori scores both better than Chillier, so you can see why that ended up relatively close. Not sure about necessarily Battle of HK's roster there, because that was eminently winnable with a better 4th player for that. I like respect to Listia, but not a tapping player, right? Not a speed player. So a little surprised to see in for that one. But it's a good performance by -45 regardless. It's hard to beat a 3-way. 6-4. It's been getting a little closer than I think Battle of HK might have liked. Now down to their own last pick. And the options, well, still got 4 no mods, 1 hard rock, 2 DTs, 1 free mod. The question of where they will go is a very interesting one.
I mean, do they finally pick reading? You know, those are still open, the Air 8 maps, somehow. I mean, I guess it is pretty scary, but I mean, surely a team with this many reading players shouldn't be that afraid of the reading, but maybe for some reason they are not a fan of these particular low AR maps. But yeah, this is their 3rd chance now at Breakpoint, and obviously with every missed opportunity at closing it out, it does get a little bit scarier. We are getting the free mod too, so finally we're getting some AR8, and I'm really looking forward to this one because there are so many good raiding players on either side. Curious how many hidden we're going to see. Obviously, I imagine Cherry will just take the hard rocks, but otherwise I could see 3 hidden.
Well, Chillier, hard rock, Yolks Pie, hidden, and then Hanori Haunt, maybe if they stay in the lobby to do whatever they want. Battle of HK, I mean, you go Ethan and Woey on hidden, probably. And, you know, Ethan Trix has been absolutely going insane this match, so let him do his thing. This is an interesting one. Sub 2 minutes, and it has really, like, I feel like kind of 2 main difficult patterns, right, that come up kind of in the first third and then at the kind of ending. So, it'll be a big aspect of what happens in the outcome. And maybe Schwartz coming in to be another good reading player. You got options here on these rosters for the reading stuff, man.
See, imagine if these teams were allowed to play easy. We'd be in for an absolute banger of a map.
Oh, man.
Get like a 6-way easy going.
Battle of HK should just go 4-way hidden. You've got Woey, Ethan Trix, Schwartz, and Listia. Yeah. You just go 4 hiddens.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a little bit unnecessary because it is still harder, but they're certainly capable of it if they felt the need to.
Well, minus 45. Yokes, Chillier, Haunt, Escrupulio. Yokes hidden. Chillier, Hard Rock was my initial estimation for their mod choices. We'll see if that ends up being accurate. Oh, Listy's going no mod. What a loser. So that means the other 3 Battle HK are going hidden, I would assume, based on how this is being discussed in the in-game chat.
Seems to be the case. We'll see if the overmod pays off. I would be a little bit surprised to see overmods from minus 45. I think it's just Chillier, Hard Rock, Yokes by hitting the other 2 on no, it is going to be the extra Hard Rock on Escrupulilo.
Yeah, I think if they had Fiery, he might be here to run another no mod. But Escrupulio super strong on the Hard Rock, so not the biggest concern there. So we early breaks matching Chillier Repair and Listia right at the start on that tricky intro pattern. And we'll see how the players settle in. It's yet another match point opportunity here, as we said. Minus 45 trying to defend again. They've gotten 2 in a row, but they've still got to win 2 more. See, Battle of HK's got what it takes to finally close this match out. This is tricky little reading overlap back and forth. It's not tripping anybody up as of yet.
Yeah, this definitely cut it a little bit at the start. There goes Ethan Trix now. That's a big combo down. Does drop a lot of accuracy. Chillier trades it back, but I think that's still going to be 3 FCs to 2, and that's going to be very favorable. Listia really struggling on this one early on, and this is not a dense map in any way, shape, or form. This is not the kind of map that you can really solo carry, and so these misses from Listia are really going to matter a lot, as minus 45 is already up by nearly 1 million points, and we're already halfway through the map. On this map, specifically, 1 million points is actually quite a lot. While Battle of HK are very much still in this one, especially after that miss, they've got a lot of work to do to make the comeback into the last quarter. If Haunt and Yokespie can hold on, they should be in a pretty good spot. Ethan Trix also recovering, though, currently being matched by Chillier Repair on the Hard Rock.
Quarter of the map to go. This one's pretty dead even combo-wise. Woey, Schwartz on the double FC, Haunt, Yokespie, double FC, Ethan Trix just a bit ahead of Chillier. Listia slightly behind Escrupulio. And it's still about, what, 500k, and that's all coming to this tricky pattern with these cut streams. Will anybody break? It's Listia to fall. Yokespie trades, though, and that is far worse for minus 45. Battle of HK now into the ending. Woey to fall, but Chillier as well. And Ethan Trix and Schwartz holding the combo into the ending are gonna do it for Battle of HK. They close it out, just 500,000 points. That ending is brutal. And Yokespie, unfortunately, the slider break at the wrong time. Haunt closes out the FC, but it's matched by Schwartz, and the superior backing scores of Battle HK are going to do it. It will not be a comeback when all is said and done, unfortunately, for minus 45. They won 2 of the match points, but could not survive a third. And Battle of HK are going to be the winners. 7-4 the final score, and onward they go into the semifinals and a date with the Irishman 4.
That's going to be a pretty good matchup. We'll see where minus 45 end up. Looks like they're up against Worldwide Choppers. That is a pretty unlucky one for the Lizards bracket, but I think they've shown that they do have some incredibly good scores, so that could be a good match as well. Certainly can't count minus 45 out of that one. And then when is our next match today?
Next match is coming up in a couple hours. 19 UTC? Oh no, so that's only half an hour. Excuse me. It's going to be Kali Backshots versus Mongolia, our remaining losers bracket match. And then that'll be followed immediately after by Grease Monkey versus Oni Nipiedza, which is the last of the winners bracket matches, as well as being the last match of the week. So 19 and 20 UTC, those will be coming up in half an hour and then an hour after that. So some good matches left to come for sure. There'll be an elimination in Kali Backshots versus Mongolia, and then our fourth semifinalist will be decided in Grease Monkey versus Oni Nipiedza. So good ones to keep your eye out for. But for
I
now,
think that'll do it for us. Yeah, take it away.
Okay. I was gonna say, for now that is gonna do it. We give congratulations to Battle of HK on job well done in this matchup. Commiserations to -45. We played a solid, tight match, but just ever so slightly outdone on a few key points. But they'll drop the losers bracket. They have, as you mentioned, that's a tough one. -45 versus -45 against Worldwide Choppers in the losers bracket next week. That is absolutely brutal scenes. But just the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose, with the bracket. So we'll be looking forward to those next week. We'll be looking forward to the remaining couple matches of the weekend. First, though, half hour's time. It'll be Kali Backshots versus Mongolia as we continue onward here in the quarterfinals week. I've been this one guy. He's been, as always, the wonderful and talented iFlame. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you in about half an hour as the weekend continues onward here in Hippo Cup 8.